Let's talk first of all, you've obviously signed Craig Mitchell, Matt Jess to some new deals. How important was it to get those guys secured?
Well, obviously, having some continuity in your squad is very important. We don't like too many changes here. We've built what we've got based on a fair bit of stability. So, we know we've got a lot of good players here. Recruitment, as I've said before, recruitment and retention is always an ongoing process, and they're just the first of hopefully quite a few guys who will be signing extensions.
You go into Saracens game this weekend. Injury-wise, how's the team looking fitness-wise?
Yeah, we've got the odd, we've got people who are aware of the odd injury. Craig's now out on operation, so he's going to be out for a little while. Obviously, Josh is with his fractured ankle, but a few other things are clearing up. Obviously, we're getting closer to Hawani being fit. He's not too far down the line. Neither is Jason Schumark. Hayden Thomas is out training full on with us now. Some things are kind of tidying up as other things injuries are happening. That's kind of the nature of the beast, and you just got to roll with it. I'm a big believer that it's more about opportunities for people than it is anything else. And some guys have had some opportunities recently. Some of them have taken them, and there may be further opportunities ahead this weekend.
I noticed Tom Johnson on the sidelines today. Is it likely he'll miss the game, or do you think he'll be fit?
He's unlikely to be fit. It's not a major injury. But again, at this stage of the season, we're only 3 games in. We don't really want to be patching guys up and rolling them out there if we don't have to. We've got a fit and enthusiastic set of back row forwards, so we're pretty confident with the cover we've got there.
You talk about those back row forwards. You made quite an investment in the summer over them with the likes of Dean Mumm, Damien Welsh, Kai Horseman as well. Likely that they might feature this weekend. They haven't yet so far. For Dean, really, he's probably got to play a bit of rugby first rather than come straight into the reckoning. He's very aware of that. He's not been here that long. He's only really just kind of getting up to speed. So he's more likely to feature on Monday. But with the other guys, they're all ready. They're all up and available for selection, and we just got to kind of finalise things. You look back at the game over the weekend against Welsh. How frustrating in hindsight was it not to get the victory up in Oxford? Yeah,
it's frustrating, but that's what it is. Every game of Premiership rugby is tough. And at the end of the day, we came away with something. Our major aim is to be competitive in every game, and we were certainly competitive. Probably, we would have liked to have won. Of course, we would have done. Do we feel we played as well as we could have done? Of course we don't. We know we could have played better. But there is still a reality that in the closing stages we were 6 points up. We made a couple of mistakes, and the game got away from us. We've done that to other teams in the past, and come in the last minute, and sometimes you just got to take it on the chin and say, well, today we weren't good enough. It's not the end of the world. We've got to be better another time.
There's 2 close defeats in the last couple of weeks, really. Is that frustrating that those are games which maybe swung the other way? You'd be looking at 3 wins out of 3 instead of 1.
Well, yeah, it's frustrating, but at the same time, you've got to kind of, like I say, look at the reality of things, and are we moving forward as a side? As I said, it's our best performance we've ever put in at Northampton. It wasn't our best Premiership performance away from home at London Welsh, and you just got to take that on the chin. There are various reasons why things happen, and you just have to face facts and get on with it. For us, it's certainly nothing we've panicked about. We haven't massively changed anything this week. We've just got down to some hard work. We've talked about the mistakes we've made. We've tinkered with 1 or 2 things, and we're getting stuck into the Saracens game. And we've done that every single week in the Premiership, whether we won or lost. And this week, to me, is no different.
And Saracens will be a real test, won't they?
Yeah, they're a very good side, and we've only beaten them once in the 4 times we played them in the Premiership. But there's a lot of teams with a similar record of that against them. They're a good side. They play a very attritional type of rugby that can be difficult to break down, and it'll be a great test for us. But that's what the Premiership's about. If we're not a team and we're not a set of players who want tests and want tough games, then we shouldn't be here. And we keep reminding ourselves of that, and it does tend to bring the best out of us. So I think we'll have a performance full of energy, like I say, full of vigour. We'll have guys kind of determined to probably play better than they did last week, and hopefully that will give us a kind of a decent perforence.
One final thing, Vatasoni Votu, any news?
Well,
he's here,
like I said, as I've said before, and I made it quite public, as soon as we get the ability to get him a visa, we will do. At the moment, we're not in a position to get him one, because we're still for various reasons trying to complete paperwork to a degree that everyone seems happy with. And at the minute, that seems to be a bit of a battle, but hopefully down the line we'll get it sorted.
Cool. So I need.
In terms of Sarries, Rob, what are you expecting from the game this weekend? You talk about them being attritional. What have you learnt from them over the past?
Well, they're tough to play against. There's a reality to that. I think we played them here last season, and I think we made more ball carries and cleared more rucks, and played more rugby than probably we've ever played before, and the reality is, although we kept the ball for long periods and we played for long periods of time, we didn't get too much to show for it. So we know they're tough to break down, solid set piece. But then, these are things that people already know. You don't win the Premiership because you're a poor side. You have strengths right across the board. But we also feel we're a good side, and we think we've got things to offer. We've caused most teams problems in various aspects of our games, sometimes in different games. But for us, it's about putting together an 80-minute performance, coming out full of energy. As we always say, let's go for it. Let's play in a way that gives us an opportunity to win. And as I said, we'll take what comes. But the important thing for me is just the level of performance. We've got to notch up a few levels from last week. The reality is, even though we were in the lead heading into the end of the game, were moments of that game of a high enough standard? They weren't, and that's what we've got to address. We've got to make sure more of the 80 minutes is up to standard.
And obviously we're back home on home soil. That always helps as well.
Well, I'd like to say it does, but we had a pretty good away record last season, so I think, obviously we want to improve at home. It's only our second home game, so it isn't like we've had a string of home games and we don't really know kind of form we've got at home. For me, it's just about getting back to what Exeter's all about, putting in a high level of performance, and I'll be pretty happy whatever. For me, I don't get too despondent with losses, and I don't get too carried away with wins. It's more about how are we playing, what are the lads doing, are they understanding what we're trying to do, and are they giving it a genuine go? And if they are, you've got to be happy. That's pretty much all you can do.
Talking to the boys, they're excited about this next batch of fixtures. These 5 fixtures that are coming up, they're huge in the context of the season.
Yeah, and it's like I said, we've still got a lot of players in this squad who, the games we've got coming up now, what's all been about. They're why they've worked so hard in the Championship, is why they've worked so hard to stay in the Premiership, to be able to play 5 games where you're playing Saracens, Leicester, Harlequins, Leinster Club. They're kind of the dream fixtures. Maybe not one after the other, but they're kind of the fixtures that, if you want to be a top class Premiership player, if you potentially want to be an international player, these are the kind of fixtures where if you can thrive in those environments, not only will you come out a better player, but people will really start to appreciate the quality, the calibre of player that you are.
Yeah.